story. The mother and father of that nice young lady sitting there taking photos and all sorts of things.
Beautiful young lady.
Ken and Mary.
Ken and Mary.
Ken and Mary.
We were
My mom and dad.
Your mother was Mary.
We were travelling the world, and we happened to be in a bar in
Robert's gone.
Rome
We being who?
that night.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh,
Wow.
Not enough light.
Lower it. Lower it.
Chill. Okay.
Thank you. That's perfect.
In the sun.
That's perfect.
and
This is short.
I had
It's all on
my
video.
Australian blazer on with the Australian coat of arms, and Bet was up in the room,
Zonked.
not well, because she gets sick when she has the water from another country.
So this
So-
was how many years ago?
About 40.
40. Okay. So this is 1970.
Gee, you want to
He
dot the
wants
i's,
to dot.
Rick?
He wants to dot.
yeah.
I know. Well, I can't be
Well,
as precise.
It was actually 1975. We went to 75 and 77.
Okay, there you go.
So it was 75.
Are you happy now? You're
Yeah,
Yes.
I was 14 years old. I was in Holland at that time.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
you're
gee, that
right.
makes me feel
We weren't much.
really old. Anyhow, Ken recognised the coat of arms because being in the war and a paratrooper, he met a lot of Australians. So he came over and introduced himself. And I went over to Ken and Mary's table and I had a drink and told them that Bet was not well upstairs in bed, that we just arrived. And he said, oh look, see how Bet is tonight because we're going to a nightclub that I know very well. And Mary and I like
Amia
it
Pataka.
immensely, yeah, Mia Pataka.
And spots
So-
on your face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Immediately I went upstairs and said to Bet, look, get well, Bet, because we've been
Get well
invited to
now.
go with a nice couple downstairs to this nightclub. Okay. So Bet immediately perked up. She wasn't sick anymore, and we went to this nightclub, and it was fantastic. We went by cab, and they always drive around Rome like racing car drivers, so we had a bit of a laugh there. This restaurant or nightclub was where you sat on long tables, and you met the people next door that could be from South Africa or could be from anywhere. So it was a great night, and the opera singers, the famous opera singers, moonlight and come in late at night and do some moonlighting singing. And all you do is give them 1,000 lira notes, which is only about $1, of course. So we did that, and one thing led to another. We were going on to, I think, Stockholm, and Ken and Mary said, yes, so are we. So we met them again and again, and this went on and on.
That
I'll cut the
is-
story a little bit
Like it was
short.
meant to be.
Yes.
And
Indeed.
in the finish, well, both Ken and Mary were saying, look, you can't go back to Australia without coming to the United States and visiting us.
Right.
And we did. And we stayed with Ken and Mary. We met Sally and Jim. We met
And Janet. And the
Janet
children.
and the children. We met Jill and her children. And that was the start. And it's just gone on from there.
And we went back 2 years later. We met them in England. Because their kids...
So when you met the family, that was still early? That was still around the same time?
Yes.
Yes. Well, yes, it was. Yeah.
And
We met Sally and Jim initially. Their children, I think, were 2 and 3 years old. Now they're married with one's got triplets and the other's got 2 children. So it's been a long time. Jill and Robert, a similar length of time.
Yeah. And our daughter...
I've left out a lot purposely because it could go
It's
on
too long
and
and
on
boring.
and on, couldn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
Amazing. You'd meet them
It's
in, this,
wonderful.
in Rome and then
Yeah.
again in Stockholm.
Yes, and then
In Cyprus.
and then Cyprus, England.
Yeah.
In
Was this
part-
just by chance or you'd invited they were inviting
No,
you
we
to
don't.
come.
Nobody asks us. We just come.
No, that's not true, Mary.
It's not
I
like
would
by
hear it.
chance they were there, yeah.
Yeah, we stayed with Ken and Mary in Folsom, and again the later trip in Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when we really got to meet these girls. And then
Ken wasn't well
Families.
enough to travel to
No.
Australia.
Oh, right. That's
So
what you
we
were
were-
saying the other evening.
So
yeah.
we kept coming back because Ken could not survive the
the long
aircraft.
trip. Yeah.
He was a very big man,
Mm-hmm.
and of course you know that he was involved in the space program, do you?
Mm-mm.
Oh well.
Was.
He was instrumental in designing the recovery chutes,
Really?
Heaven.
and they were locked when Kennedy said that we are going to beat the Russians to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
A group of people were locked away with Werner von Braun in Los Angeles to design the space capsule
Recovery. Yeah.
and he was locked away for weeks and weeks. No windows, eating junk food, crash program to beat the Russians to the moon.
Good Lord.
And
Really?
he
You did not tell me
he
that.
was
He's an engineer, that I remember.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah he
he
was
was a parachutist
instrumental
in
in
the
all
war.
the
Wow.
recovery chutes.
He was, you know, they were flown in to Europe and parachuted behind the lines,
Mm-hmm.
and he was
The
one of
Red
those.
Beret
Yeah.
Brigade,
Wow.
and Jill has got the Red Beret because that's one of the things we asked when we came, and Jill's sister has had it with his medals,
Mm-hmm.
and it's beautifully done,
Mm.
and it's rare, it's unique, and
Wow.
well, not unique, but very close to being
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
There were a few. Yeah.
Very cool.
He was a really remarkable, funny, and a loving man. And
Mhm.
Mary, this Jill's mum, was a Londoner,
Mm.
pretty, giggled, and was so female. And,
Yeah.
and so we just had so much fun. I can remember standing with her at this Mia Pataka,
Mm-hmm.
and we both needed to go to the toilet.
Yeah, what about the toilet? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good, but yeah.
And so we went downstairs, and they always in Europe, you know this, I'm sure. They have a lady at the door. and all
Yes,
she's
with the
there for
5
us
cent
to
pieces
collect
or the 25 cent
Mm.
pieces.
Yes.
whatever it is.
Right.
And so when we got
Embarrassed if you
there,
haven't got a piece of coin.
Yeah.
coin
she
to
said
throw
it
in.
was a dual personality toilet, men and women. You just went in as the
I
queue
see,
got
right.
shorter, and Mary and I got the giggles, and we just couldn't stop. We'd had too much to drink, obviously. And we could hardly prop ourselves up. We were just on the wall, and this lady was she was such a big bombastic
mama. That's
yeah,
it.
and she was herding us in, and we were not entirely sure that we should be going into those toilets, you know. They were just vacated by a man or whatever.
Oh.
So, you know, so that they were just fun people, and we just, you know, got along so well. We suited each other so well, and that's where it went from there. And our daughter, and Sally's daughter, correspond and keep in touch, and
Oh, nice.
and they've been out and stayed with Chris and Megan,
And Jill and Robert.
and came to John and Robert too. Yeah, I tell you, the Taylors just drop in.
House guests and fish.
Yeah. So
It's been good.
Very
It's
nice.
about the
I think maybe
isn't that
tomorrow you need to
wonderful?
leave, John.
Yeah, I
think
know. It's
kind of
about that
unusual
time.
About
right?
time.
To make a lifelong friend out of a vacation.